So let's get back to our discussions. I've already told you about why we are going on to this section, about how to abandon our defilements, because samatha is all about abandoning passion. So now you're supposed to do discussion topic number 17, which is to discuss and compile a list of possible methods for abandoning the defilements of the mind and comment on how those methods can be utilized according to varying circumstances. So it would be good if you could create a table . Yeah, you can see. Can you see the table up here on the screen? You can make a column to list the defilements and then the method of how to abandon it and the sutta reference. Please give the sutta number and the page number. Now, some of these methods of abandoning a particular defilement may be more than one. So I want you to tell me why or how these methods can be used in some circumstances and not in others. Right? So it's quite straightforward. Okay? So please start your discussion.
The question, how to abandon defilement, total defilement or just partial defilement? Because if you don't use the partial defilement.
Temporary abandonment.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the word abandon can be kind of misleading. All these are only temporary. The full abandoning will be when you get awakened.
Note 40, last paragraph. What's the meaning of perception of diversity?
Anatta sanya. That means when your mind is perceiving a lot of things, diverse things, then it's not settled.
Oh, okay. That means diverse things.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Next. Okay, the next question is page 143, D17. I'm not quite clear about the last phrase, according to varying circumstances.
Oh, okay. They may not be applicable all the time under all circumstances. Under circumstances, these methods might apply, sometimes might not apply. Okay?
But then what about excessive meditation?
That means putting too much effort. Ati means excessive. Ni jayatata comes from the word jayati. Jayati is to think, to ponder, to meditate. You put too much effort and you think too much, meditate too much effort without not balanced effort. That also will make you very turbulent. Miere. Miezwa. Miezwa. Firmly. Okay. Over firmly. Over firm meditatedness. Okay, please start.
This list is a compilation from the whole group, so have some overlaps. So we list out the hindrances and the method, and also the reference sutta, and also the page number.
Okay, good.
So the first is in case of anger, so we can practice metta. And this is Sutta AN 9.3, page 138. And in the case of lust, it's practice asubha. Also is AN 9.3. If in the case of negligence, we can practice test reflection. This one, I didn't find the sutta reference number.
Which one? For what?
Test reflection in the case of negligence.
Negligence, okay.
And in the case of doubt, is to develop understanding of skillful things. This one is in MN 27, P, page 136. And in the case of lack of faith, we can do Buddhanusati. This one don't find the sutta reference.
If you have no faith, how to do Buddhanusati? The Buddhanusati is only for those who are faithful. Okay, anyway, go on.
So, slope and topper is to perception of light and clear knowing. This one is on MN27, page 136. For covetousness is to develop non-covetousness. Is an MN27, P136, 134. And for ill will and hate is to do metta and compassion, free from ill will. This is in MN27, P134. And for restlessness and remorse is to do unagitated with a mind inwardly peaceful. This one is MN27, page 135. And for thought, a lot of thought is to do Anapanasati. This one is in AN 9.3, page 138. And for conceit is to do perception of impermanence. This one is AN 9.3, page 138. And to cut off all the 5 hindrances is to do Satipatthana. So this one is AN 9.64, page 138.
Okay, but then the question is, when you are supposed to do what under varying circumstances? You know what I mean? Which means to say that the last one, the 5 hindrances,
Yeah.
can be overcome can be abandoned by developing the 4 Satipatthana, right?
Yes.
How about when you cannot develop the 4 Satipatthana?
Okay.
You
If
see, okay, let me clarify. The five hindrances are also listed above there: covetousness, ill will, sloth, and torpor. Right? These are individual methods for each hindrance. The one for the last one, the Satipatthana, is like a blanket for all of them, right? So when do you apply the 4 Satipatthanas, and when do you apply the individual specific ones?
if you are clear about your hindrances, say your anger, you can apply metta. So it's
Apply?
metta meditation.
Metta.
Metta. So if you are not very clear about what the hindrances are now, you can do Satipatthana.
Okay. I thought in Satipatthana you're supposed to know this is anger, this is you, this is sort of torpor, is there, is not there, and the cause and condition for it to arise and how to get rid of it. Okay, anyway, Phil. Okay, but any comments? Anyone who wants to elaborate on that? Because she hasn't really answered the whole question. She only listed the ways of overcoming the hindrance. But how about varying circumstances? You know, when do you apply Satipatthana, and when do you apply Asubha to overcome lust? When do you apply metta and compassion to overcome ill will, and when do you apply Satipatthana to overcome ill will? Anyone can answer that? I thought Judy was the one who asked me what is meant by varying circumstances. So I already explained to you. Now it's your turn to tell me what are the varying circumstances.
Since nobody want to answer, so I will try. For me, this is my personal preference. I would practice Satipatthana first. When Satipatthana doesn't work, then I will practice the so-called when ill will come out, I use metta. But I don't like to use this. I always don't like to use it because I want to confront with the with what we call the whatever come into the mind. It's just that if it doesn't work, I will not try metta. If I have very strong ill will, if it doesn't work, I also will not try metta. I will still try Satipatthana, but to distract my mind, to cultivate samatha. Maybe do walking, very fast walking, not observing the heartbeats and breathing, everything. Yeah, I would say this is very personal.
Okay, thank you. At least they got an answer. Anyone else want to try?
Our group members have drawn up this, looks rather detailed, 3 pages of information. And we have like the headings, defilement, how to abandon the defilements, and we have also the reference page and the sutta numbers. Number one, a defilement is how to abandon covetousness, purify the mind. And you can refer to page 134, Sutta number MN27. Number two, ill will and hate. How to abandon ill will and hate through metta and compassion. Metta will anyway already include
I think
compassion.
you have to clip. Clip,
I
clip,
will not waste time giving the numbers again. You can see the numbers clearly. Number three is sloth and torpor. How do we abandon them? Be mindful and recipient of light and clear knowing. Number four, restlessness and remorse. Cultivate inner peace of mind. Number five, doubt. And we will have to try to be clear-minded, be unperplexed about skillful things. Understand skillful things. Number six, last. Have a perception of non-beauty. Number seven, thoughts. Develop mindfulness of breathing. Number eight, conceit. Develop perception of non-self. Less of I. Number nine, hindrances. Develop the four satipatthanas. Number 10, 5 hindrances. Pay attention with our whole mind. That means pay attention, really pay attention, and listen to the Dhamma. This we have discovered from page 142, Sutta SN 46.38. When we listen to the Dhamma with the awakening of the 7 factors of enlightenment. Sati, mindfulness, energy, investigation of the Dhamma, joy, tranquility, samadhi, and finally, equanimity. Comments? Daily mindfulness and clear knowing. Number 2.
What was that? What was the comments for?
I thought we were asked for comments. No need for this.
I know, but you're just reading out what is the context.
That's what we thought. This is the comments we thought would serve as a guiding point for us.
Oh, guiding point.
Yes, as a guide to us.
To overcome the defilements.
Yes. Mm.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, please read. Yeah, go on.
Then, number 2, regularly listening to the Dhamma. Because when we say comments, then it's all very well for the information. How are we going to go about it? So this provides a guideline for us. Then number 3, do dana, practice giving. Number 4, try to attend retreats.
This one sounds like the next question, you know.
Okay.
It's a pause for liberation. I think you're jumping the gun. No, this is not what I want. What I wanted to ask you about is that there are different methods of overcoming the defilements. Some of the defilements have got different methods. One defilement may have 2 methods of overcoming. Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, under what circumstances can one method be used, and under what circumstances can the other method not be used? Your answer for the first part also, it looks as though examination question leak out. This is exactly what my slide has. It's a copy from my slide. Somebody must have printed my slide and circulated it around. So all the answers are already there. So I don't have to show you the slide, huh? You see it up there.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you look at the 5 hindrances here at the bottom, can you see? The 5 hindrances at the bottom. The 5 hindrances can be overcome by developing the 4 Satipatthanas or by listening to the Dhamma with full attention, right or not? But the 5 hindrances are also mentioned up here. Covetousness, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and remorse, doubts, right or not? Okay, these 5 hindrances have got specific antidotes. One is to overcome covetousness, you develop non-covetousness. What does that mean? What is non-covetousness? Non-covetousness is non-greed, anything that is non-connected with covetousness. Right? Maybe giving, liberality, generosity. Then restlessness and remorse. Develop internal peace of mind. What does that mean? Actually, internal peace of mind is samatha. Right? So to abandon restlessness and remorse, you should do samatha. Right? Samatha means any sort of object that can bring about this internal peace of mind. Right? Remember the 4-step process of samatha? You steady the mind, settle it, unify it, and make it composed. Then doubts is do not be confused about wholesome things. It's very interesting, when you have doubts, it means that you are not properly informed. That's why the ways of actually overcoming doubt is to associate with people who are wise, knowledgeable, and competent. You must associate with the right people. If you associate with the wrong people, you get the wrong information. Yeah? So you must associate with the right people to get the right information about wholesome things. So once you know what are wholesome things, you also know what are unwholesome, right? What is not included in wholesome is unwholesome. So this is one thing that you need to be clear about. The commentaries said, what is the way of overcoming doubts? Is to associate with wise people. So nowadays you can just Google the internet and go to reliable websites, to find out information. So it's easier these days. Okay, these 5 have got specific antidotes. But the one at the bottom, the 5 hindrances, all of them can be overcome by developing 4 Satipatthana or by listening to the Dhamma with full attention. Right or not? So, under what circumstances can this be done? And under what circumstances must you use the specific methods? Developing the 4 Satipatthanas is an overall method that covers all the 5 hindrances. But what is up here are specific antidotes for each hindrance. So when can you use the blanket method to overcome the 5 hindrances, and when you cannot and you must resort to specific antidotes? Now that is a question. Has anybody addressed this? No. Nobody understands the question, I think, right? Okay, I want to bring your attention to the 4 Satipatthanas. If you are familiar with the 4 Satipatthanas, they are about observing the body, feelings, your mind, and dhammas, all right, things, mental objects. The basic principle of Satipatthana practice is to step back and look. Right? Step back and look at the body as just body. Feeling is just feeling. Mind is just mind. Dhammas are just dhammas. You don't identify with them, This is my body, this is my feeling, this is my mind, this is my dhammas. Nope. You don't identify with them. You just look at them for what they are. Which means to say that you must step back and be an objective observer. So this requires some prerequisites. For example, if you are not well trained and you are very, very angry at that time, you cannot step back and look. Can you? Cannot. When you try to look at your anger, you'll be sucked into the anger and you'll get even more angry. Right? So that's why at the beginning of the Satipatthana, the Buddha says, how does one practice the 4 Satipatthanas? And he says one is ardent, he dwells contemplating the body in the body, or the body as the body, ardent, clearly knowing, mindful, having subdued longing and dejection in regard to the world. Now this last phrase is very important, having subdued longing and dejection in regard to the world. To put it in a more layman terms, it means having subdued likes and dislikes with regard to the world. Because if you are overwhelmed by likes and dislikes, you cannot step back and look. Right not? You must have some degree of objectivity. You must be able to subdue your likes and dislikes to some degree to be able to step back and look. But you have not totally abandoned them. That's why they still arise and you can step back and look. If you have totally abandoned them, they wouldn't arise in the first place. Right not? So that's why in the first subsection of the 4th Satipatthana, Dhammanupassana, is about observing the hindrances. When the hindrance arises, you are able to step back and look at it. Oh, this is the first hindrance of covetousness. This is ill will. This is sloth and torpor. You are able to look at it. You can see how it arises. You can see how you can handle it. But if you are obsessed by them, you cannot do it. Right or not? If there is such obsessive lust for a member of the opposite sex, if you try to look at it, you get even more lustful. It's so difficult to get anapana nimitta, but very easy to get nimitta of the opposite sex. You know, that's just the way our brains are wired. Yeah. Not your fault. That's the problem of becoming a human being, of being reborn. You are subject to all these things. Okay, so when that happens, then we have to use specific antidotes. When you have not practiced well enough to be able to step back, you are overwhelmed and obsessed by these very strong feelings, these strong emotions, then you cannot use Satipatthana. You have to go and handle those emotions first, all this passion and hatred and anger. So you use these specific methods. Can you get it? Yeah? So sometimes when you are also very, very hindered by all these hindrances, you go into listen to Dhamma talk also cannot. It just won't go in. Yeah, I've got no time to tell you a story. Anyway, that's all. This story is about, it's from the commentary, it's about Ayasma Sariputta. Okay, Ayasma Sariputta was going on alms round one day, and he happened to stand in front of the house of a retired executioner. This guy is an executioner. He goes around chopping people's heads at the king's order. But he had just retired, so he was very happy that he has been retired from this job. So he dressed himself very nicely and he prepared food in order to do dana. Because when he was still employed, he didn't have the time to come and do dana. So now he has the time and he's clean. So he was dressed up properly, prepared food very nicely, and was very happy to see Ayasma Sariputta coming, served him food. And then Ayasma Sariputta started to give him a Dhamma talk after he received the food. But he saw that this fellow was very hungry and he had cooked his favorite food. So because he was hungry and was eyeing the food, he could not listen to what Ayasma Sariputta was saying. Well, you cannot put full attention. Half attention was on the food, half the attention was on the Dhamma talk. So Ayasma Sariputta read his mind and said, okay, you eat first. You know? So that's one way of overcoming the hindrance. Go and eat first. If you have too much desire and greed for food, go and eat first to satisfy your desire and then come and meditate. This is one instance. Another instance is when he was halfway in his talk. Then this executioner, although he had already satisfied his desire for food, now as he was listening to the talk, he had a lot of images of all those people that he killed. And he looked very troubled. So Ayasma Sariputta asked him, what's the problem? You look that you're not paying attention, you look very troubled. And he said, well, my mind is just thinking of all those people that I had executed. So Ayasma Sariputta thought, well, this guy is now overcome by remorse. Just one hindrance, right? So he thought of a skillful way of allaying his remorse temporarily. So he asked him, were you the one who actually executed those people at your own will? He says, no. Then why do you do it? Oh, because the king ordered me. So I'm just following the orders. So Asma Sariputta asked him, oh, if it's the king's orders, is it your fault? And then this guy was a very simple man. And he thought about it, hey, yeah, after all, he was the one who ordered me, so not my fault. But actually, whether the king ordered him, he was the one who actually killed. Right? So actually, both of them are responsible. But because he was tricked by Asma Sariputta's logic, he thought that, oh, now it's not my fault, it's the king's fault. So he rested his mind and he could listen to the talk. So as he listened to the talk, according to the commentary, the Dhammapada commentary, he went until a very high stage of insight. Now, what the commentary says, Sankharupika Jnana, almost at the brink of Sotapan. After the Dhamma talk, he was very happy. He accompanied Sariputta out, carried his bowl for some distance and passed the bowl to him and went back. But on his way back, he was gored to death by a bull or a cow. Now, this must have been one of those people that he executed, trying to take revenge. So he died. The monks started to ask the Buddha, hey Bhante, this executioner, after he had done dana and listened to the talk, he was killed by this bull or this cow. So what happened to him? Where is he now? Yeah, what do you think? After killing so many people, after executing so many people and just doing one dana and listening to one talk, you think he will go to heaven? But actually that's where he went. He went to heaven. He went to heaven because of his dana and because of his insight knowledge. But of course, it's bad karma for him to have executed so many people, and he will have to pay for it somehow. Yeah, when his karma expires up in heaven, he will have to pay for it. But okay, this is just to show you that hindrances, when they are too obsessive, you have to handle them first, before you can proceed with Satipatthana. Okay? Also listening to a Dhamma talk. If you are obsessed with certain hindrances, you listen to a Dhamma talk also, you cannot pay full attention. And when you cannot pay full attention, the hindrances are not abandoned, and the 7 factors of enlightenment cannot be developed. I've got one slide to show you about the gradual training template. MN107, I think is Chula Hatti Padopama Sutta 137. You look at the note, it says, the gradual training sequence from sila to sense restraint to mindfulness and clear knowing, contentment, seclusion, abandonment of the 5 hindrances, samadhi, attainment of the 4 jhanas, with slight variations, is repeatedly found in many suttas in Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, and Anguttara Nikaya, a few in the Khuddaka Nikaya, but surprisingly none in the Samyutta Nikaya. All right. So what is the gradual training template? Part of it is really shown on pages 34 and 36. Yeah. So this is also a way of abandoning the defilements, a gradual way of abandoning the defilements and attaining samadhi. This is the sort of default template that the Buddha used for the monastics, and with variations here and there to suit the individual. This one is based on the Ganaka Moggallana Sutta, MN107. You start with moral precepts, then you go on to guard the doors of the sense faculties, which is actually Kaya Sati, right? Mindfulness of oneself, of the subjective experiencer, making sure that the mind doesn't get caught up in any objects that impinges on any of the sense doors. Then moderation in eating, devotion to wakefulness, mindfulness and clear knowing, resulting to seclusion, abandoning the 5 hindrances, and developing the jhanas. After which, we go on to developing wisdom, directing the mind to understand the 4 Noble Truths, and so forth.
Bante, what about the MN2 Sapa Asawa Sutta?
What
It's
about
his seventh method to use against the
To abandon the
defilement.
inflows.
The inflows, yeah.
That's another way. The Sabbasava Sutta, which we talked about the other day, MN2, right? You know what is the way of abandoning hunger? Anyone knows? No, eating. No, if you don't have anything to eat, then you starve to death. You have no chance to practice. So the Buddha had many ways of abandoning. He was very practical. You know, it depends on what it is. Then what is the way of abandoning danger? Danger of animals is to avoid avoidance. Right? Abandon doesn't mean that you cut off completely, you know. Like for example, hunger, according to the Dhammapada, is the greatest disease. Because you satiate for one meal, it comes back again. And you will never cure hunger until you die. All right, somebody wants to ask Rob?
Bhante, I looked this up in that Bhante Analayo's book. And in the Chinese and Sanskrit versions of this particular sutta,
Gunakara Moggallana?
yes.
MN107?
Yes, MN107, in the Chinese and Tibetan equivalents of this, a little bit different. They don't include eating and wakefulness, but they do include satipatthana before number 2. In other words, it says number 1, which is moral precepts. In fact, they say patimokkha, right? Specifically, sorry.
Right, yeah.
Sorry. Pali says patimokkha. Chinese Tibetans say behave yourself.
Oh, is it?
They don't. They don't specifically say patimokkha. They just say don't give in to ill will and
Oh,
just
really?
just don't be naughty.
Okay.
It's more on a principle rather than the patimokkha.
Did you talk about verbal and bodily conduct?
Yes, that's right. But it does not specifically say the training rules. It's only the Pali version that says the training rules of the patimokkha. The others just say behave yourself. Don't be naughty.
I think it's in Asapura Sutta also it talks about this kaya and virji ducharita. Yes.
Okay, so right after that, it includes satipatthana at a very, very early stage, at the number 2 stage, and it doesn't include eating and wakefulness.
No eating and wakefulness.
No eating.
No guarding of the sense.
Oh no, all the
faculty?
rest is there. All the rest is there. So you've got number 1 is the virtuous, which in their case is just behave yourself, not the patimokkha. Number 2 is satipatthana. Then it's guarding of the sense doors. Then it goes to clear knowing, seclusion. 5 hindrances, jhana.
No mindfulness and clear knowing?
Yes, everything else is there.
Oh, mindfulness and clear knowing is still there.
Yeah, the only one that's not there is eating and wakefulness.
Oh, okay.
So it does 1, then it inserts satipatthana, then it does 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Interesting.
Yes, so I'd like to ask I'm sorry to put you on the spot like this, but your comment on having satipatthana so early in the whole sequence, and secondly, eliminating the eating and wakefulness.
They like to eat and sleep a lot.
Yeah.
no, that's...
Okay. But satipatthana so early in the sequence, it seems to me to be out of place to be so early.
Okay. Thanks for bringing it up. That's interesting. Remember I was telling you about kaya sati, kaya kata sati? That is actually satipatthana, you could say. It's looking back at the subjective experiencer. In fact, as I said the other day, in many instances in the suttas which talk about guarding the doors of the sense faculty, kaya sati is brought in. So I think it makes sense to have satipatthana right in the beginning, because kaya sati requires a lot of mindfulness to look back and guard the mind. I think it makes better sense than to have it like mindfulness and clear knowing down the line. Yeah, because that's what you need to do. Although it's kind of difficult to jump from number 1 to 2, whether it's guarding the doors of the senses or satipatthana. Okay?